up with a new exciting franchisee opportunity. In that series, today 65 opportunity we are going to discuss with you out of the 100 best franchisee opportunity of 2021. So today, the brand which we are going to talk about, we are going to talk about the franchisee opportunity of the brand. They are renowned brand, very known in the retail category. Yes, today I'm going to talk about Pantaloons. And for more detailed discussion, we have our guest, Mr. Vivek Shah, Area Sales Manager, Gujarat. So, hi Vivek, thank you for joining the webinar. And I'm sure our business seekers are excited to know about the franchisee opportunity of Pantaloon. And we'll try, to help them in understanding the opportunity so that it will be helpful for them to take the decision. Yeah. Over
Thank
to
you,
you, Vivek.
Vandana, for welcoming me.
Yes. Yes, Vivek, over to you.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Vivek Shah. I take care of Gujarat sales and operations for Pantaloons, Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited. I've been with the Pantaloons with roughly about 15 years now. I have started my career with Pantaloons in the year 2006. And as I had joined as a store manager, and now I've taken up multiple levels of profiles within the organization. And now I'm handling the Gujarat region for the sales and operations piece. So that's my real background. I have also, so my total exposure for in retail is about 18 and a half to 19 years of experience. I worked with predominantly ITC Group and Pantaloons. And I've been within Pantaloons handling multiple profiles from handling offline sales, online sales and operations to be a part of this group requirement. Yeah.
Yes, yes, Vivek. Thank you for sharing, and giving your introduction in such a nice way. I want to know, like, what is the market that you see for retail in Indian market? And we have seen so many uncertain situations that have come, and how Pantaloon is performing. And, want to know the retail market in India, offline and online both.
So predominantly, Bandana, the retail for as an industry has been growing at a CAGR roughly about 12 to 15%. That is, I'm talking about pre-COVID level. All right. Now, it is one of the biggest employer, as you know, in terms of the overall, I would
Yeah,
say, employee generator industry, right? So,
yeah.
since retail is not new to India, predominantly India was more of an unorganized market from 20, 15, 20 years back, and
Mm-hmm.
retail evolution happened really in the last 15, 20 years itself. In terms of organized retail, I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So, and Pantaloons, you would be aware that Pantaloons has been there since 1998 now. Okay, and it's one of the forefront runner and one of the oldest retailer in the industry, currently which is working. Now, if you ask me, organized retail is growing at about 12 to 15%, as I mentioned, at a CAGR level. Now, it is constantly evolving over a period of time. Last 5 years has been constantly evolving. A lot of players have got into retail market.
yeah,
Big group chains of India have also been by diversifying into retail. So, and since our population supports and our growing income supports this segment to grow, and I think
yeah.
the offline and online retail are here to stay for a longer period of time, much longer period of time.
I'm
And
sure.
hence I think we are rigorously focusing on how can we improvise our store and how can we build more expansion plans within the tier 3 and tier 2 towns, which are predominantly growth drivers for now, both in offline as well as online market.
Okay. And want to know, like, when Pantaloon has started giving franchisee, like 15 years back.
No, so franchisee for Pantaloons has been a very nascent step since last 4 years now. So we took the first step of the franchisee store in the year 2016 onwards, and that's where we started our journey from franchisee perspective.
Okay.
So currently in India, we are about 20 stores in franchisee, and we want to take it to roughly about 100 stores in next 1 or 2 years.
Okay. And I have a question that I want to know, like, Pantaloon. If I talk about Pantaloon, so the style and if you see the cloth quality, all is fantastic. Do you want to add any point over here about the products that we have in Pantaloon that we see?
So, just to give you a background regarding Pantaloons, Bandana, is that since the brand was evolved as a value retailer,
Yeah.
okay, and we have evolved from value retailer to a aspirational fashion retailer. That's
Okay.
where our ambition is. So, if you would have seen our stores opened in last 1 or 2 years, that's where the play is happening. So today, organized retail is predominantly, divided into value retailer, fashion retailer, and an aspiration retailer, a luxury segment, which is how it is going to be. So since we started as a value retailer, we have got some good sweet spot in the consumer mindset with regards to our product line, with regards to our price points. That's a sharper price point. With regards to the display parameter, the content and the quality of merchandise that we are displaying in stores, the segment that we are, the introduction of new categories. So off late, we have started into the women's saris as a category, which we have never gone into pantaloons since 15 years back. So last 2 years, we have evolved that way. We've evolved into home category also now. So these are the segments we are targeting. So slowly and steadily, we are becoming a brand which is more aspirational, but yet affordable and a much more advanced in terms of the target group that we're looking for.
Okay. So sari that Pantaloon has introduced 2 years back, and
Yeah.
other categories also we talk about. Kurtis are there, and shoes, accessories
Yeah, so
are also.
we are currently having five departments that we cater to consumers. One is your menswear, completely men's denim, casual wear, formal wear. Then we have women's western as an entire category, which is a big category for us. Then we have women's ethnic, as you
Okay.
mentioned. We have women's ethnic, which is a separate department, and in all stores we have kids department catering
Okay.
to kids merchandise, and we have then non-apparels, which is roughly on footwear, accessories, lingerie, home. These are the kind of category that we have been focusing off late. We started with. Now the second journey about our category involvement is the sari, which is consumer for women centric requirement. Home category, which is again a part of a category which we launched 2 years back. So these two new categories have launched in,
Okay.
apart from what we used to do earlier.
Yeah. So if any business seekers, want to know, so they can understand they have multiple varieties. It's not like they have only one product that they have to sell. They have different categories, which they can go for. Yeah. Let's move to the next slide, Vivek, and let's understand the other,
Yeah.
points also, which will help our franchising.
So just to give you a historical background, Pantaloons was a takeover acquisition from Future Group, as you would all know.
Okay.
Aditya Birla Group stepped in 2012 to acquire this brand from Future Group. And organically, Future Group had started Pantaloons way back in 1998 from Calcutta as a first store.
Okay.
If I talk about the last post takeover, ABG Group taking over, we took over at about 60-65 stores at that moment of time, and today
Okay.
we are standing at 350 stores. So ideally speaking, ABG Group has taken a long step of expansion in last 8 to 10 years, which has helped us our growth levers, as well as we could penetrate the market in tier two, tier three, because that's where we were missing in terms of our expansion. So last 8 years have been completely on the penetrating market, and I think 350 stores is a big number for our
Yeah.
kind of brand considering. And yet we are focusing for expanding further markets in the next 5 years.
I'm sure, and this is a remarkable growth if we say that Pantaloons have been made, because having five with more than 300 outlets is not an easy task.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's move to the next slide and let's understand about the other factors that we have. So we have understand and we know that there are other like we're talking about yearly growth, how we have seen in this slide. We are also talking about the same thing like 1998. So it just I want brief in this slide about the growth.
So as an organized player, Pantaloons started in 1998, and our first store got opened up. So all the evolution happened from those years, and
Hmm.
for our first store at Garyard Pantaloons way back in 1999 when we opened up,
Kolkata.
Kolkata. That's
Yeah.
where our first store opened up, and from there on, there was no looking back. I think at that time, Mr. Biani had a vision to take it for nationally, and that's how we began our journey. We started developing ourselves predominantly on the private in-house brands. So today also Pantaloons is known for its in-house category, number of brands. So you would have heard about brands like Bare Denim. We have brands like Annabelle, Rig. They used to be a strong brands when we started up, and since we know the retail as a market is more driven towards margins, and margins are always going to be high when you have a better control on our product line and inventory, and more your brand support to the sales requirement. So that's where the entry phase happened. So one of the few retailers or only retailer at that moment of time wherein the vision for private label in-house brands was feeded in. That's how I
Okay.
would call it entry phase.
Uh-huh.
Then we
Uh-huh.
started aggressively from 2007 when the brand got established itself in the markets of tier one. The future group further took over to 2007 in terms of how do we evolve in terms of those markets, and we then ended up at about 65 stores into 2012 period. And
Acha.
from 2013 when the entire acquisition got completed, uh, the actual growth stage phase have started in from 2014 onwards,
So
and where we have
acquisition happened
gradually
in
expanded.
2012.
Acquisition happened in 2012. It took one
Uh,
year to complete the entire acquisition. The
okay.
2013 is actually a process where we have completed the entire acquisition formally.
Okay. Okay.
And then, as you can see on the slide, 2015 onwards, we invested heavily on opening new stores in new markets. And today we stand at about 350 stores. So, of late, the brand evolution also happened in retail as a family store
Okay.
previously.
Huh.
Okay, and India currently if you know the population today is about 60% of our population is about youth, which is there in India, which requires that particular product line to be supported. So our backend team during the evolution phase have started about investing heavily on the youth wear fashion, which was been target as a group. Uh,
Okay.
but not that we didn't wanted to shave off the family concept. It still continues, but our product line has been more sharper, more revolutionized in terms of the wearability, the silhouettes, the
Okay.
merchandise feasibility in terms of display angle. Those kind of evolution happen in the from 2014-15 onwards in order to take the brand to the next level. So that's
Great.
where our the brand diversification happens. So uh, when we talk about retail, we talk about offline. Now we talk about online.
Yeah.
We all know online revolution started in India heavily from 2016 onwards, where all the big bigs have come in to the online platform, and we were no behind as well. Pantaloons also evolved themselves strongly, invested in last 3.5 years to be part of a big digital revolution. And we have a very successful site, pantaloons.com,
Yeah.
available already live. We are also partnered with Flipkart, Amazon, and Mintra to be a fashion partners, wherein we are selling merchandise as well as on those platforms, and we are servicing them from that as well. So that's how the journey has been for the Pantaloons till now. Yeah.
Yeah, great to know that. And so I think Pantaloon has always focused, and they added the different product line, keeping the customers wants in their mind actually. If I
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's move to the next slide where we have different points which we have to discuss. Yes,
Yeah.
I want to know this brand portfolio away from you. Yeah,
So this is a basically ABFRL portfolio, Bandana. So since we are part of Aditya Birla Group, and Aditya Birla Group is a listed company under Fashion Retail Limited, right?
yeah,
So Aditya Birla Retail, Fashion Retail Limited has these kind of five portfolio. One is the Collective, which is the luxury segment. Okay,
okay,
we recently took over Shantanu, Nikhil, and brand designers. You might have heard in the media. So those
okay,
segment is catering to our luxury segment. We have a super premium brands like Hackett. We have Simon Carter. Jaipur is again a recent takeover, and then in the in the year 2019, we are developing
okay,
that brand to be taking over further. Ted Becker. These are the international super premium brands which we are taken franchisees to sell in India
uh-huh,
predominantly. Then we have premium range. We all know about this marquee brands like Louis Philippe, Allen Solly, Van Heusen. These are the age. This is a brand which have evolved in Aditya Birla Group over so many years, and they are very strong brands in their portfolio.
Okay.
We have a recent acquisition called American Eagle, which is again India. They have India rights by ABG Group.
Okay.
We have a sub premium category called as Forever 21 for women, which is again an American brand, India rights taken by ABG. And Peter
Hmm.
England, we all know, very successful brand all across tiers. So that's another brand that we have. And then we have Value, as I mentioned earlier,
Hmm.
which is Pantaloons, which comes into the portfolio. This is a segment that we are multi-fold segments in the ABFRL, which is a listed company, falls in
Okay.
for.
Wow.
That's how the portfolio is.
I
Yeah.
must say you have a very rich portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing these details. Yeah. Let's move to the next slide. Yeah. And yes, as we are talking about and discussing about how Pantaloon has expanded their growth and all these points. So I want to learn. Suppose any business seeker is watching, then definitely this question will come into their mind: why to choose Pantaloon and how it is different from their competitors, right? So
So
if
first,
you can help
yeah,
me understand this
yeah.
point, yeah.
So first, I think Pantaloons is a very established brand in itself, and
Yeah.
if I go back and look last 20 years for this brand, they have been able to survive only because of their acceptance about the consumer requirement day in and day out. So today, even after a 20-year-old brand, we have evolved that we want to maintain the core competency, which is the product line and the price point. If that
Okay.
is your, if that product and the price point is acceptable to the market, we will definitely be surviving. Okay,
Hmm.
over a period of time, we've built our loyalty base. So for example, our loyalty towards the brand contributes to roughly about 70% of our business. All right, so because they know the brand's performance, the brand's product line availability, the reach for that matter. So we
Hmm.
have something about 1.5, 1.1 million people already registered into a loyalty program.
Achha,
Right.
okay.
The third part is the service level. Why we are different from the competition.
Yes.
We
So Vivek,
may,
I want to know just a little bit more about the loyalty program. If you
yeah,
can help.
yeah. So loyalty programs. So we have a green card loyalty program which exists since we have been there as a brand since so many years back. So
Hmm.
green card is actually a loyalty program which we ask customer to be a part of our brand. How can they keep shopping with us? What kind of repeat purchases that keep coming to the stores? Okay, what kind of benefits that they get to the store when they enroll into the green card program, the loyalty program. So these are the factors that the benefit for the green card merchandise, green card enrollments for the customer. So for example, there are three tiers into the green card. So one is 7 star, which is predominantly a customer who is buying more than 20,000 a year, he
Okay.
falls in that category. The customer who shops for 40,000 a year, the customer who purchases for 8,000 a year.
Hmm.
These are the segments that we give the loyalty mechanism for the customer. So the
Okay.
benefits is again going to be how do we pay back this particular into a points mechanism to keep coming back, to keep informed about our new launches, to keep informed about new stores opening, to take the regular updates about the brand launch that we're doing. In we call couple of our premium customers to be a part of our events,
Hmm.
for product launches, take their direct feedbacks.
Hmm.
Those kind of benefits that we keep on having. We have a very flexible exchange policy for those set of customers. So these are the factors that are involved into the loyalty benefit program. That's all it is.
Okay. So these are the point that brand is giving to their customer, and this is directly affecting or helping franchisee in making their business.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, okay. Let's move to the next slide and understand about the other factors. We have other things like I'm sure those who are watching us, they want to know, are they suitable for Pantaloon or not? Because what is the education that is required? are is it necessary they should come from retail background, how much time they have to invest in a day or in a week, and skill sets also. I would, if you can just let us
So,
know about these
so
profiles.
firstly, Vandana, we are a very open-minded company, and we don't restrict towards what kind of background people are being there with us. So we are looking for partners, and we are not
Okay.
looking for any kind of other opportunities. The partners can be of any background. Predominantly, education is, of course, I'm sure the people who wants to invest with Pantaloons, they would have relevant education. So I can't really comment on the education part. But yeah, the background piece is that we're looking for the like-mindedness, growth parameter in terms of, so we're looking for partners who understands the market well. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe a non-retail company, or maybe a non-retail individual as well, or a retail individual as well. So
Yeah.
basically today, our objective is that how can we penetrate the market in those towns and those cities where the our partner is strong off. So for example, today if you want to open a store in, say, Rajkot, for example, okay. Now, if the person is from Rajkot, knows the market well, we would like to be a partner with us, give us insights. We learn from the insights. We have our own insights. We amalgamate those insights. Okay, he knows the market. He can give us a lot of feedbacks on the market improvement requirements. So these are the, of course, he should be having an interest into the growth phase of the brand. He maybe want to have a diversifying requirement from what he is doing, or what he or she is doing, to interest that particular part of their business growth story. So basically,
Yeah. Yes, Vivek, please continue. Vivek, I think there is some technical issue due to which we are not able to hear Vivek. So shortly, Vivek will join us, and we are talking about Pantaloons franchisee. In this slide, we are talking about the profile, like what is the reasonable level of education is sufficient, background not very particular about the background, that they should come from the same background, and then
looking
times.
for partners who can grow with us and I
Yes, we
think
lost.
we lost
Yeah,
in between.
Vivek.
Yeah.
So I was just briefing them about the background. So yes, time. How much time they have to invest if they are interested in taking up the franchise?
So I just give you a background. Pantaloons is currently looking for a franchisee model, which is franchisee owned and company operated. So technically speaking, I don't think so any franchisee would need to have any kind of time required to monitor the operations of the store.
Okay.
Okay, so for them, they can spend quarterly, monthly, depending upon their convenience, and we
Okay.
can help them in terms of how are we reviewing the store performance if they are on board.
Hmm.
So, of course, they are open to come at any point of time, as per their convenience time. We can always explain the model to them. But we are
Hmm.
currently looking in the FOCO model, which is franchisee owned, company operated, wherein franchisee has to be part of not any daily requirement operations, but he can be a part of all the capex for the store involvement, and build the store from the scratch, and then operations can be taken over by the Pantaloons team in order to justify the standardization fee that we require. So technically, he can spend he can spend his time with us any moment of time, monthly, quarterly, so as to understand the business further.
Okay. And skill sets. Any particular skills that is needed?
So basically, we only believe that any businessman would know how to generate business and how to make profits. So the
Hmm.
only skill is required is that they should understand the business well. They should have that kind of knowledge to understand the business parameters. They should know what kind of profitability that these brands generally gives, what
Yeah.
kind of ROIs are required, what kind of other market players are doing in the system. So you have to understand their operations perspective. So these are
Okay.
the skills that we normally are anticipating from them to support us.
Okay, great. So yes, the seekers, if you have any question, you can ask us. Vivek is with us, so that you'll get to know about the doubts, or if you have any questions. So you can share your question through the chat section. Yeah. So Rakesh has joined. So hi Rakesh, and thank you for joining. And yes, Vivek. So let's move to the next, and we'll understand about the financials. Also, we know that financials is very,
Yeah,
very important thing. Yeah. So how much they have to invest?
yeah. So, just to give you a background, Pantaloons is investing on minimum 10,000 rupee, 10,000 square feet of an area, which is required,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it can go as high as the 15,000 square feet of an area. So, for us, this particular space is required. Now, if you talk
Okay.
about the total investment, we general capex that is required for Pantaloons is about between 1,800 rupees to 2,000 rupees of a per square feet investment that would be required as a capex. Okay, which includes all the costs,
Hmm.
your setup cost, your interior cost, your software charges that I mentioned here. Apart
Hmm.
from that, there would be a franchisee fee that we always take it as part of our this thing. We also have a security deposit per se, which will be a part of the investment. So
Hmm.
if you ask me if I want to put a ballpark amount, it will be in
Yes.
between 3.5 crore to 5 crore, depending upon the size of the store that they pick up in the cities.
So what is the minimum space required?
10,000
Suppose
square feet. 10,000 square feet.
10,000.
Correct.
And interiors, all these things will be, not means your team will help them.
Yes, so we have our standardized vendors who are
Okay.
allocated with a brand and associated with brand. We will
Hmm.
get the touch base with the investor who's parting with who's joining us, and
Hmm.
the entire setup and interior cost will be a part of the capex. So as I
Hmm.
mentioned, it will be roughly between 3.5 to 5 crores depending upon size of the store.
Okay, okay. So Rakesh has joined Vivek with us, and he has a question.
Yes.
Yes, Rakesh, we are talking about the investment part only. So please stay connected with us, and will help you in understanding all the questions that you have. So we are talking about the investment only now, and what is the minimum stock that they have to buy from the parent?
Bandana, as I mentioned, this is a FOCO model, which is franchisee-owned, company operated.
Okay, yeah,
The investor does not need to invest on any merchandise buying
yeah, yeah.
from us. That will be completed. Inventories are play. We will
Uh,
give all investment on inventory perspective and all the operations perspective. So they don't need to worry about the staff cost. They don't need to worry about the investment on the merchandise buying, which is product buying. They don't need to invest on marketing. They don't need to invest on any operations requirement at all. The only investment that they will do is the capex, which is the interior cost, the franchisee fees, the security deposit perspective.
And the ballpark figure, as you said, like it will be between 3
The
CR
range
to
of
5.
three and a half to 5 crore in the range of that.
Okay, okay, okay. So, and what is the ROI period that we can expect?
So we generally do a 9 to 10 years of lease agreement with the investor.
Hmm.
Of course, the property is on a longer lease period, but we generally do all the franchisee agreements for minimum 9 to 10 years, and they have upper hand to minimum have a 24 month period to as a lock-in period.
Okay, and are you helping them? I'm sure you are helping them in getting the location, so the footfall,
Yeah.
commercial
So
space, and all these
uh,
things.
we have earmarked a couple of cities where we want to be present in. We have
Hmm.
earmarked and selected and identified many properties within those cities that we want to be present in. So if the investor is showing the interest on joining with us, we can show around the entire market. We can make an entire survey presentation about the market, the competition, the area, the size, why we are here, so that they get a fair deal amount of understanding about the entire city or a town that we are coming into and why we are coming there.
Okay, and yes, well, generally we have seen in many franchise model like one outlet, and what is the distance that they have to maintain from the existing outlet so that they can avoid the competition. Is
So
there?
in the multiple store cities, for example, say Ahmedabad. Okay, now Ahmedabad, we are currently having 9 stores in Ahmedabad at a
Okay,
distance of 5 kilometers each, right? So that's how the minimum gap. Of course, Ahmedabad is a much wider city, but where we have a smaller towns, we consider only opening one store for now, and when the city evolves, then we take it forward. So, for example, the newest market that we evolved is Baroda in say in Gujarat market, where till 3 years back we were only one store, two
okay.
stores. Now we
Hmm.
have two more stores in last 2 years. So but again a distance of between 4 to 5 kilometers distance, because the catchment is evolving accordingly.
True, I'm
Similarly,
sure.
our upcoming market, Rajkot. Rajkot is a 15-year-old store now, and now we are expanding, which is a complete different catchment, about 7 kilometers from or 6 kilometers from the current store that we have. So we ensure that the multiple store city do not get impacted with the cannibalization piece, so to say, in order to support the investor as well as the brand requirement.
Yeah. So I think our business seekers have got the idea what will be the investment that is required for taking up a franchisee, the
So
Pantaloons
talking
franchise.
about the return on investment piece, so typically depending upon this investment, we would give the between 19 to 20% of our returns on monthly sales or say yearly sales of net sale that we give back to them, is what the
Achha.
number comes in. That the total IRR or say the return ratio will be explained when we discuss in detail or interest shown forward for each and
Wonderful.
every site. But
Okay.
yeah, typically the range of 18 to 20% return on sales we give them as about a percentage.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's move to the next slide, Vivek. Yeah. And our part, this slide, your partnership promises a Pantaloon partner. Can you let us
Yeah.
know
So as
about
I mentioned in your
this?
earlier question, we're looking for partners who have market knowledge. As I mentioned in the earlier slides, they should be able to know the market well. That's the skill that they require. And even if they're not from the market, if from they are from other markets, we would help them to show that particular synergies and knowledge about the market so that they are confident. Of course, these are the acumen that we are looking from the investor and some kind of input from their end, which we will be able to anticipate here, apart from capital investment.
Okay, yeah. So I think this we have already discussed, and let's move to the next slide and get to know about the tier one success stories. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
slide is very interesting because whenever we discuss about the success stories, who are watching us, they'll get that confidence. Those who have taken the Pantaloons franchisee, they are making stories, they are getting success. So yes, please, and if you have any failures, also let us know. I'm sure you have learned from those stories.
correct. So, as you mentioned, next 3 years we are targeting roughly about 250 stores across India,
Okay.
which will take us to a pole position of about 700 stores from now where we are.
Okay.
So now this is a big number, and the major portion, as you can see, is in the tier three, where we have not we have tried to penetrate till now, and that's where our
Hmm.
main play is going to be like. Which is I'm talking about Pantaloons itself. Okay, now
Okay.
tier two has its own set of investments and planning happening. Metros continues to be a part of a growth story, but I think the
Hmm.
where the cream of the entire expansion is lying in tier two and tier three, where the maximum number of footprints are going to be expected in next 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So for example, if I talk about Gujarat, right, since I'm handling
Hmm.
Gujarat as a territory, Gujarat is about 28 stores of Pantaloons now, and maximum investment is happening in Gujarat since last 4 years now. Majority of expansion. So we were only 6 stores 5 years back across
Acha.
Gujarat. Now we are 28. So the last 4 years for Gujarat has been a stupendous in terms of the number of investment that we have entered into the market like. And still, for the next 2 years, Gujarat will be a top priority destination in terms of investment. Apart from the existing cities, we are venturing into others. So Gujarat has a typically 32 districts to say,
Okay.
and each and every district we want to be part of it, right? So still today we are still vacant in 3 to 4 districts across Gujarat, which we are targeting, and that's where our focus will be for next couple of years.
Okay.
Similarly, for other locations in India as well.
So if I see, I can tell from the slide, tier three city expected by 2025, 173 stores.
Correct.
Okay. So we got the idea, like what is the expansion plan that Pantaloon have. Let's move to the next. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any particular success story that you want to share that my Gujarat, Rajkot, or this store is
So
doing wonders
yeah.
and what? Yeah.
So coming back to the franchisee piece, back Pandana, success stories about how successfully we have been able to, adopt the franchisee community into our brand. So, for example, Gujarat
Yeah.
today has roughly about six franchisee stores already. Okay, so we have franchisee in Nadiyad, we have franchisee store in Anand, we are a franchisee store in Rajkot also, which is going to
Yeah.
open very soon. We have a franchisee store in Ahmedabad, two of them, right? We have a store which is owned by franchisee at Vapi. So we are already into a growing franchisee community, and Gujarat has been one of the top state across India where the number of franchises are higher comparatively to other states. And of course, since as I mentioned, 20 stores across India, and we are targeting to make it 100 in next 2 years down the line.
Okay. Wow. I think, and any failures that you have that you want to share, that this franchisee was not performing well because these are the XY region. Uh,
So I think failures are always to be a part of any business requirement, Vandana.
Learning.
So I think every business community or entrepreneurship has risk and their own sets of successes. So we also had it. So we also evolving, and we do all support mechanism that our partner requires, so as to that they become, since we are making them as a partner, we don't want to feel that the investment is the per se. I think the relationship starts from once the investment happens. So we have our sets of failures, but we have overcome the sets of failures by supporting from our end, from the community, from the franchisee community, from as well as from our community, from our company itself, from our organization as well. So that I think from, and that's the biggest confidence that people have gotten, and hence today we are evolving as a much stronger one from the mindset from a community, from the franchise investment part. So
I'm
that's
sure.
the major upkeep for us.
Yes, yes, I'm sure. So yeah, let's move to the next slide where we can understand about the other points.
Yeah.
Other Yes. So I have few questions that I'm sure our franchisee also want to know. Like, what happened if franchisee, franchisee's business is not performing as expected, and how you have supported your, franchise during this COVID-19. Retail, most of the business seekers are thinking that retail is not performing well because malls are not working. So, what is the experience that you had during that
So
uncertain
to
and
answer
pandemic?
this very, I think classic example, we are already currently going through the process, which is a COVID period. So
Yeah.
still the retail is also evolving since last 7 months, and it is recovery is quite very good. But to coming back to your question in terms of support mechanism, wherever our stores today are present into the high street area or a mall area where we are paying rentals, or even if a franchisee store is invested in that particular rentals, we ensure that all the negotiations for the rentals during the affected period are being done with the developers so that they can support us in the reduction of the rentals also. So that benefit directly goes to the franchisee owner if the store is franchisee.
Okay.
So that same benefit, so we on the franchisee's behalf try to negotiate with the developers, and we have done very heavily last year. I think every organization have done this in the last 1.5 year, and any kind of mishappening in terms of this period, we ensure that we support the franchisee owner in a way that can doesn't harm their cash flows, doesn't harm the growth trajectory as they expected earlier. So to give you a classic example, yes, during COVID-19, we have given benefits about rentals to the franchisee directly or to us directly wherever we are company-owned stores from the
Okay.
developers who have supported us to reduce the rentals for certain period of time.
Yes, yes. This is very
So that
important,
benefit
Vivek,
is already
because
to people.
yeah, we are talking to business seekers, and they ask this question that how parent company will help them, which type of support they want, they will provide us. So if you have helped your franchise during a tough time, then I think this is the best thing that any business seekers is looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and talking about further on the unexpected period, I think there is lot can be done because we do every 3 monthly review or 6 monthly review and understand what kind of practices that we keep following, where is the intervention required, yearly review for
Okay.
that particular franchisee owner, which will have them confidence ke how we are connected, and whatever benefit that they are looking for in terms of so that they can strengthen their cash flows. Today we are here to strengthen the cash flows for both of us as well as for them. And if that relationship doesn't move forward in the same manner, it may fall apart. So that's the intention that we want to build the relationship for a longer term, and
Okay.
so that we can support themselves. That supporting will be there from our organization, and since we are part of a Aditya Birla group, and we all know what kind of support that we can be able to give them to
Yeah.
the our partners and who are associated with us. That will take care of it.
Yeah. So
Details can
yes,
be
Vivek.
details can be given when we are actually on board. How do we support? Where do we support? What
Yes.
period we support? That can be discussed once we are on board.
Yeah, we have to discuss all these points in detail. So, Bill Seeger, interested in taking up Pantaloons franchisee, you please ask us the question. So, Suresh has joined and he has a question. So, Suresh, stay connected with us. We have a proper, Q&A section where we'll discuss about all these questions, and Vivek is with us. Yes. Let's move to the next slide. I have another question, Vivek, for you on behalf of our business seekers. What kind of support does the brand provide, as we have already discussed in day to day, like in day to day operations? Just brief.
So, so I think as I mentioned earlier, it's a FOCO model. So day-to-day operation is not required from any franchisee investor. Okay, they are supposed to
So you
only
have
be
one model that we are following now.
correct, correct. Wherein the FOCO model, I would mention again, it's only on the capex investment,
Yes.
monthly rentals, and electricity payments. That's these three elements are going to be from their investment perspective. Rest, all the day-to-day activities are going to be taken care of by us.
Okay, got it, got it. So it's based upon the model which Pantaloon is having. Yeah.
Correct.
So let's move to the next question. Are franchisee encountered to meet regular as a part
Yeah.
of? Yeah, if you can
Yeah.
answer
Depending
this.
upon the franchise requirement, we do a 3 monthly activity with them, we do a 6 monthly activity with them, we do a yearly activity with them. So now that we have got a many, so previously till last 2 years, we didn't have so many franchisee owners, so we did a yearly activity. Now that we have around 20 already franchisee owners who are partners with us, so we do a quarterly activity with them, depending upon the time and convenience of each and every individual there.
Fine. So I think I got all the answers I was looking for. And let's move to the next slide. And Vivek, let's start taking questions from our business seekers who are
Yeah.
participating in this webinar. Yeah. So the first question that has come from Rakesh is that what
Well,
is the required franchisee partner with you, and what is the investment benefits? I think you have already answered this question, but if you can just brief it to Rakesh, it will
yeah.
help him.
So the requirement from the franchisee partner, as I mentioned, we have a FOCO model. He or she would be a part of our capex investment, and post capex when the store is operational, they will be supporting us on the monthly rentals piece, depending upon the agreement that we have shared, and the electricity charges expenses that we incur. These are the three investment that will be there from a franchisee owner. Uh, the investment benefits, if I talk about, we would give a return of about 18 to 20% depending upon the investment ratio that we calculate once we discuss with us. So typically we have given between the range of 18 to 20% on a net sales returns to the investor back. That's the benefit. Apart from other benefits, I think we spoke about the circumstances or scenarios where we fall into, what kind of other benefit that we can give. That will be as and when we grow as a partner, we shall be able to give the benefits back to them. But predominantly, returns is about 18 to 20% on your investment
Okay. I'm
for
sure
9 year period.
Rakesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Vivek, you continue.
So we do a lease agreement, an agreement with the franchisee investor for about 9 to 10 years, and we will give the entire projection. We will give the entire projection in such a way that it makes understandable approach of how when will your money be back at the 10th year of your of the operations. So we give the all calculations to you. Based upon that, we can discuss further.
Sure. So I'm sure Rakesh, you have got the answer, and if you are interested, please share your details, and we can reach out to you so that. Let's take the another question that we have, from Suresh. The question is: these days, e-commerce sales increasing. How could you survive? How could we survive in tier three cities where these malls are not there?
So, and that's why we are here. I think it's a welcome move that tier three cities do not have those physical stores, and hence we are part of that journey. So if you would have seen our slides before, our maximum number of expansion is going to happen in the tier 3 towns. So, and that data, any which ways, is because of the online penetration till now. So, we all know the online penetration reach is maximum coming from tier 3 towns. So, once they experience the physical store in their own towns, it will be much, much better for us to engage with the customer well on day-to-day basis, and he can experience the brand, because this online and offline debate will go forever, and we still believe that these two parameters of retail will continue to exist, and hence our investments are very high on the tier 2 tier 3 markets going further. But if you ask me about the specific question on surviving, I think we are currently a 350 store strong market penetration across India, and our 40 to 50% of our business is coming from these towns. So definitely these tier towns have a huge potential, and which we have not been able to tap till now, which we've started doing it. So that's the part of a journey. So surviving will be not we should not be facing any issue, because consumers are their set of minds which are which want to experience a physical product, and which wants to experience online product. And to we also have an online channel as well, which also supports the requirement. So in a way, our
Yeah.
company is in strong position to adapt to both the markets parallelly.
Yes, I'm sure, Suresh, you have got the answer. Now let's take the other question that has come from Amit. So Amit has a question. The first question that he has asked: can we open in second floor of a complex? And he is from Raipur. So Raipur, are we open up with franchisee?
Uh, Definitely. Franchisee openings are everywhere. I'll have to check on the Raipur requirements and what kind of area that you're looking for, and if that area is within our scope of requirement, we'll definitely invite you for our discussions further. And if you ask me about second question regarding to the location, well, it depends upon, we have not open in second floor, but we take ground plus two if we feel that the complex is good enough to take that particular layout requirements, and the markets is in such a way that they can cater to that requirements. As I mentioned in my earlier slides, our minimum area would be roughly about 10,000 square feet of an area, and maximum, depending upon the size of the market, 15,000 square feet of an area. So we would that's where the our requirement would be. So if the complex is quite buzz in terms of the consumer requirement, if the entries or the footfalls are not a problem in second floor, we may invest in second floor as well. We have stores in second floor in many malls where the mall is quite active, we get footfalls, and we do well there as well.
Okay. So Amit,
But on
I hope.
the question of 3,500 square feet, I would say we would not be there in those space. We would require a minimum space of 10,000, because our product line is such that if we don't have that space, then we may not be able to go ahead with and showcase our requirements.
Yeah. So thank you, Vivek, for answering, this question, and thank you, Amit, for putting this question to us. I hope you got the answer and the clarity. Yes. So I think we have addressed all the maximum questions that we have received today from our business seekers. So request all the business seekers who are watching us now, if you have any question and you want to know more about the Pantaloons franchisee, and we are open in Rajkot, Gujarat. So leads or watching from Gujarat city, please reach out to us, and all over Pan India we are open. So we have our contact number that we have shared over here. It's 9844443200. Reach out to us if you want to send email. Business at franchisebazaar.com. You can share your email with us, and even you can visit our website, that is www.franchisebazaar.com. You'll get more about the Pantaloon franchisee in our website, and Vivek is with us. And if you have any other questions that you want to discuss, you please let us know. You can reach out to us. And yeah, so Vivek, you want to add any other points over here? Do you have any message that you want to give to your business seekers? Because we have covered all
No,
the
no,
points required.
um, I think it was a great session, Bandana. Thank you for inviting me. Uh, so, as I mentioned throughout my presentation of the slides that we have shown in, we are keenly looking for expansion, and whomsoever is who wants to partner with a group like us, I'm sure they would not be having a very they would be having a very good experience that they have not seen so far, and
Yeah.
we have a good background to support. We have a good background of our from our brand image perspective, and so the financials is a listed company. Everything is transparent and quite open in terms of how do we communicate to ourselves. So I think we would be very much wanting that more partners should join us and
Yeah.
support industry and support the retail industry as such, and plus your own business as well to be more successful. That's how it is.
Yeah, for this beautiful message. And thank you for joining this webinar, Vivek, and sharing all the franchisee opportunity details with our business seekers. And I'm really thanking you for this participation.
Pleasure.
Yes,
My
all
pleasure.
the business
Thanks a lot.
seekers, yeah, stay connected with us. We have other franchisee opportunities lined up. Rest 35 opportunities are there. Stay connected with us. Follow, like, and you can comment so that you'll get all the latest update on the webinars. So thank you, business seekers, for joining me once again for participating.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.